Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
And this week we're talking about the episode Fear itself. Eek! It's Halloween. Except not when this goes up.
No.
Okay.
It'll be like the new year.
Wonderful timing.
So this episode originally aired October 26th, 1999.
At least it aired around Halloween.
Oh yeah, they always do a really good job of having like a Halloween-themed episode
Yeah, and it
for
fit
Halloween.
alright with the timeline, I guess. So,
Tis
anyway.
the season for this TV show.
It is kind of. Okay, so while carving jack-o'-lanterns in Xander's basement for Halloween, the gang discusses their plans. While Buffy continues to mope over her situation with Parker, they decide to go to the Alpha Delta house for a Halloween party. and Xander accidentally rented Anastasia, or not Anastasia, Fantasia instead of Phantasm. Stupid video store.
You gotta put some emphasis on the P instead of the F.
Have you seen Phantasm?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, Justin, have you?
No. I've seen Fantasia.
They're a little bit different.
A little.
Yeah, one involves giant silver balls.
The other one involves...
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse and stuff.
I would have included the mushrooms.
Buffy leaves early, and on her way home, a kid jumps out in front of her wearing a demon mask, and she hits him without thinking.
Yeah, not exactly the best time for the Slayer.
Well, and I mean, fair enough. The next day at school, Buffy and Oz both express their concerns for Willow about her magic. Buffy spots Parker and immediately runs away because she doesn't want to face him. Willow follows and tells her to get over it and have some fun at the party that night, but Buffy thinks that Giles will want her to do some patrolling. When Buffy goes to visit Giles, however, he's wearing a sombrero and is in an incredibly cheerful Halloween mood. He discourages her from patrolling that night and encourages her to go party. And yes, Giles was wearing a sombrero.
Yup.
Yeah, it was a sombrero.
It is a sombrero, indeed.
When we're finished this, we're going to have to make a list of the best things Giles has ever worn.
Are we really?
Because that's going to be a good list.
Because there's only so many things I can specifically think of.
There's going to be more. Giles is going to wear many more costumes. At the fraternity, the boys are getting ready for the party. One of them finds a symbol in an old book to paint on the floor of the party room. Anya goes to see Xander and again wants to know where their relationship is heading. He agrees that they're somewhat dating and invites her to the Halloween party that night, telling her to dress in something scary. Keep that in mind for when I reveal the costume. Buffy visits Maggie Walsh and asks for the assignments, but Buffy is met with a less than kind reception from the strict teacher. Riley, however, gives her the assignment and then tells her to have fun on Halloween. Oz and Xander carry the equipment for the sound system to the frat house, and Oz installs it while some of the guys paint the symbol on the ground. Oz cuts his hand, and some of his blood spills into the symbol, making it come alive and turn a fake spider lying in it into a real one. Joyce Summers sews one of Buffy's old Halloween costumes, Little Red Riding Hood. They talk about how things used to be with her dad around and her mom's current social life. Buffy waits outside the party for her friends, and Xander shows up dressed as James Bond, just in case that happens when they get turned into their costumes again. He was thinking ahead this time. Actually, he kind of got the best of it in the Halloween episode where they got turned into their costumes.
No, that's true, but Buffy did have a decent enough point where, sure, you may look like James Bond, but
you could be turned into a waiter.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They run into Willow, who's dressed as Joan of Arc, and Oz, who's going as God. His costume is just a name tag that says God on it.
The best types of costumes.
Because Joan of Arc had a close relationship with God.
Well, good.
At the party, the guys lead a blindfolded girl to stick her hand in a bowl of grapes and tell her that the grapes inside are eyeballs. When she takes the blindfold off, they really are eyeballs. Everything at the party goes crazy as people run in all directions screaming, some ending up mutilated and injured in various ways. The gang starts to make their way through the maze, but they encounter several Halloween obstacles, including fake cobwebs and skeletons that jump out at them. But they really start to get scared as a spider crawls on Willow. They discover real blood on the floor and bats fly down from the ceiling. Anya arrives at the party dressed as a big pink and white bunny. Because bunnies are goddamn terrifying.
The one side of me said it makes perfect sense, and the other side of me was just thinking, was this just an additional joke with the characters there, or?
This will be a running joke. It will come up many times.
Oh man, them bunnies.
Okay.
That Anya is terrified of bunnies. Anyway, but she is unable to get in as the front door has disappeared. As she walks around to the front, she sees a girl screaming at the window, and the window disappears from the house. Inside, and able to get out of the house, Buffy tells the gang that they're going to find a way out and get help. They find Chaz, one of the frat guys, in a closet saying it's alive. A skeleton attacks Buffy from behind with a knife, but when she attacks it, it becomes fake again. Buffy and Willow fight over Buffy giving orders, and then over whether Willow can safely do a guidance spell to lead the way. Anya goes to Giles for help. Xander tries to talk to Buffy and the gang, but he finds he's invisible to all of them, and they completely ignore him. Willow and Oz, who go off on their own to find a way out, find stairs and head up. And as they're walking, Oz starts to change into a werewolf and scratches Willow before running away from her. Xander approaches a mirror, and along with his reflection, a once fake head on a table behind him says that he can see him. Oz sits in a bathtub chanting over and over that he isn't going to change while Willow conjures her spell. The spell, however, gets out of control and she screams for help as it attacks her. Buffy, hearing Willow's cries, tries to get to her, but instead falls into the basement with a dead start coming up from the ground and grabbing at her. A dead man tells Buffy that she will keep fighting but always end in the same place. Meanwhile, Giles and Anya are unable to find a way in, so Giles pulls out a chainsaw and cuts a door into the house.
Giles with the chainsaw.
It was legitimately pretty badass.
It's like, yeah, that's how you can make a
I'm
door.
gonna make one.
It's like, how are you gonna make... Oh, chainsaw. Of course.
In my first thought, I thought it was going to be more magical related, where he took a piece of chalk and literally drew a door, but no, took the literal sense of things.
Yeah.
In their frenzied attempts to escape their fears that have somehow come true, all the gang run into the coat room, and things seem to go back to normal. From the book the frat boy used, they determined that the sign on the floor is the mark of Gachnar, I think is how you pronounce it, a demon that feeds on fear. The mark is used to summon Gachnar. A ritual has been triggered when Oz's blood fell on the symbol, and the demon has been using the house to create fear so that it can grow strong enough to manifest. Giles and Anya then break free into the room. Buffy destroys the symbol before Giles can tell her that destroying the symbol will immediately bring Gachnar forth. But as the demon has manifested itself, it turns out to be more than a few inches in height. After a laugh, Buffy simply squashes him with her shoe. At Giles' place, they eat candy, and Giles discovers his mistake. The small picture of Gachnar in the book had a subheading: actual size.
It says actual size.
Because he didn't translate the Gaelic. That's a lesson, kids. Always translate the Gaelic. So what do you all think of this episode?
It was spoopy.
It is spoopy.
It was fun.
And it is fun. Let's quickly go through international titles and music, and then we'll get into a few other things. So, in French, The Demon of Halloween. In German, The Demon of Fear. In Brazilian Portuguese, The Fear Itself. In Latin American Spanish, it's just Fears. And in Spain Spanish, it's Terror. For music, 28 Days has a song Cool and LA Tune. Christoph Beck original score. There's a band called Third Grade Teacher, which is OOO, and Verbena, which is, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't fucking know, has a song called Pretty Please. So, thoughts on this episode?
Anya is in a bunny outfit, and Giles is in a sombrero.
Yes.
A lot of interesting costumes, at least those ones.
Yeah, like I said, that will be an ongoing joke.
A joke that she's afraid of bunnies, or that she was dressed as a bunny?
That she's afraid of bunnies.
Okay, gotcha.
Their twitchy little noses.
Mm-hmm.
Frightening.
It'll make sense. Well, no, kind of. Dave, what did you think overall?
Again, it was fairly spoopy. and just all the particular things that they decide to do, and the idea of a haunted house that changes things around to just disorient you.
Yeah, it's a really good concept.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it's done really well, actually, especially considering it's only like 44-ish minutes. So I have a quote from the episode. It starts off with Xander when he walks up to Buffy, and it's like, "Hey, Red, what you got in that basket, little girl?" Buffy replies, "Weapons, Xander." Oh. Because of course she does. So I mentioned that there would be some foreshadowing in this episode. And there's actually 2 parts that I could think of off the top of my head, and they both relate to Willow.
Of course they do.
So one is people are getting worried about Willow's use of magic.
Yes.
That will be a major plot point in Season 6.
Okay.
And if you'll notice, when Willow's fears start to come true, she mentions Oz leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be relevant soon.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Soon.
Yep.
Because I don't think he's in next season.
Nope.
Oh dear.
He's not even in the rest of this season.
More so, dear.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun episode.
I'm sure. Fun for no one.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so do either of you have any other thoughts about this episode?
It was a good Halloween episode.
It was an enjoyable Halloween episode.
Yes.
Yeah, so I highly recommend this. I love all the Halloween episodes. This one is no different. However, next week we'll be talking about the episode Beer Bad. And I apologize in advance.
Oh boy.
Well, we've been hearing about this one.
So,
oh boy, the hype is real.
I have been warning you about this since we started. I do believe I said this would be worse than the Moloch episode, which, if you remember, is the demon who got onto the internet.
No, that wasn't terrible. I think it was Justin. It was the case with the hyena episode was his worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably going to be worse for you.
I'll have to find out, and you might be right that I may hate it.
I think you're going to hate it.
I might.
Fair warning. So, the description for Beer Bad. While tending bars, Xander becomes alarmed when an intoxicated Buffy and her new drinking buddies are reduced to a, let's just say, more cave person-like state.
Yeah, I might hate it.
We'll get into why this episode was written when we talk about it properly, but there was a reason. And it was to get funding from the government.
Because of course it
And I
is.
can't simply skip this episode.
No, you can't. You're required to talk about it.
Damn
That was in the contract you signed.
I didn't sign any contract.
Yes, you did.
No.
I signed it for you.
That's not how contracts work, Paul.
Curses. Anyway, until next time, I'm Paul.
Dave.
I'm Justin.